This is the terrifying tale that you will never truly know. It is a story known as Gozu, which essentially translates to cowhead. It is a Japanese urban legend in which the urban legend itself is the existence of the story. From what I've found, essentially reading or listening to this entire story either puts you into a catatonic state or gives you horrible chills for a few days and eventually you die of fright. Or you just go insane, get real sick, and end up dying. And I can only find one person online who is actually telling what this story could be, so I'm gonna describe it. Essentially, there existed a small rural village in Japan that was going through an extremely brutal famine. Every single animal that they had in the village had been eaten: cows, sheep, and they eventually started eating pets like dogs and cats. But there was nothing left to eat. Everyone was starving, they were dropping like flies. One day a man walks into the village, but this man has the head of a cow. The rest of his body, completely human. Seeing a creature that vaguely resembled a non-human, even though he was essentially human himself, the villagers jumped on him and started attacking him and brutally tearing him apart. Ripping him apart piece by piece, the almost inhuman screams of this man were heard echoing off of the mountains for miles. The man was then thrown into a fire while still shallowly breathing and cooked alive, barely clinging to life for the few minutes he had left and eventually dying. The cowhead's body only lasted for so long, and every villager ended up dying of hunger in the days and weeks that followed. Eventually, hikers or people passing through came across the scene and saw the carnage. And that was that. That's how we know the story, I suppose. But of course, according to legend, that's either not the full story or not the right story at all, because if it was, you'd be catatonic and going crazy right now. There are stories that involve people telling this story and kind of killing a lot of people in the process. There's also a story associated with this of a school teacher that liked to tell her students scary stories, and she started telling this one, and she essentially couldn't stop. She became like possessed by it and ended up saying the whole story to her students, and they all went catatonic or died. Very interesting legend, I thought, especially because it involves this cowhead figure, and no one really knows why, because, you know, you don't know the story, so what is this cowhead thing about?